Okay, so I'm going to make this quick video. I kind of got this thing out of here now a little bit. I'm not going to unplug the back wires because they don't come out. And right now there's only two big plugs and then there's a small plug. I took that out right now. So here's one that I disconnected. See that? I disconnected that. That was on the side right here where this little terminal thing's at. Okay. So that's what I disconnected. But there is another wire disconnected right here. See this wire? Let me see if I can get this to move here. Make sure my uncle's not going to come over here. But see that? Not this one, because this one's mine. This one right here. That's a plug. But I can't tell. I can't see it on the phone there. Can't really tell what color it is. It's awful dirty. But it's been zip tied up for quite a while. So that's the only wire that I noticed that's disconnected. But I honestly wouldn't know what that would go to. I would have to hook all the wires back up again. And see what's missing. But I don't really see anything out of the ordinary, except that one right there that they duct taped up. But that looks like it's been duct taped up since the 70s. So I don't know. Maybe it's something that these tractors don't have. But Crazy JD Kid was saying something that we could probably take the wire out of this guy, and hook it up to this guy. Well, see, the problem is that they're big plugs. They're not individually plugged in. It's like a big harness. And I don't know if you can see if there's something missing there or not, but I'm not seeing anything out of the ordinary except that one wire. That's all. And then there's this green wire or blue wire. Can't see it right here. They somehow jumped this. I'm getting caught up here. I'm not too sure where that's going, but they somehow jumped that wire. So I don't know if that's it right there or not. That they did something wrong there. But that one there that's unplugged and they taped it up, that one's an interesting story. But see, this is why it's such a bitch to work on here, because you can't get these freaking plugs out. I don't want to break them. But I'm going to keep digging around in here some more and see what else I can find. But everything else looks like it's hooked up like it should be. I would like to get this out of here because it should make life a lot easier. But I'm not sure how they come out either. But that one wire that I disconnected, this is the one that I disconnected. I was trying to get the gauges out of here, or this whole entire thing. So that's what I disconnected. But there's nothing else out of the ordinary that's been unhooked that I can tell. Okay. So just that one there that they taped up, and I don't know what that's supposed to even go to. So let me see if I can dig around in here a little bit more and see what's going on. I know Crazy JD Kid was telling me to take some pictures. Well, I figured a video would be better. Because I can talk about what I did compared to a picture. I can't. So this is the only wire that I noticed that's not hooked up to anything. You can see it's taped up. And this is the one that I just disconnected right now. So, plus another wire harness that I disconnected somewhere in here now. I disconnected it. There's at least 3 or 4. I think there's at least 3 big plugs and then that little plug that I just disconnected now. And wherever these go, these are hooked up. I think that's probably supposed to go over to this. So I don't know for sure, but I don't know. I gotta see if I can get these stupid plugs out of here somehow, but like I said, I'm not going to be working on this thing too much longer either, because I heard after this, was it this weekend after that, it's supposed to start cooling off again, it's supposed to start getting cold. So, but that's all I can tell right there, is that they disconnected it, and it looks like that yellow wire, but I'm not 100% positive if that's the one that's outside or not. So, but I wonder, since I'm in here, well, I guess I gotta tear the damn dash apart more. I know the young guy was talking about, you can see the throttle. Oh, I don't know focus. You can see the throttle that I'm moving there. There's supposed to be a wedge or something in there. I'm supposed to be able to move. And then I'm supposed to be able to loosen it, but I guess you kind of have to tear this part of the dash apart to do that. But whatever. Let me see if I can get this torn apart a little bit more. If not, well, that's going to be about it. But I don't know. I'm not seeing how we're going to splice that other wire in. So, but give me a few minutes here. Let me see what I can do. Alrighty, so I was able to get this thing off. This is one of the wire harnesses. You had to take the screws out. That's the only way that was coming out. There's still another one in there yet, but I don't think that comes out. I mean, it probably does, but I ain't breaking it. I cleaned this thing out. This little white cover comes off, and this had like, well, this was full of dirt. I mean, this was like it went through a mud bath or something. So I cleaned it out the best I could. Now, that wire that I showed you that was disconnected, I can't see my lens very well, but this wire right here that's disconnected is going into this harness down here that I unhooked earlier. The silver one right here that I'm pointing at. I traced that wire. See, this is the wire. It goes right down to the bottom of that. See how it's moving it? Yeah, see, it's hooked into that. But why is that disconnected, you know? That's something I don't know. And that's not disconnected. And I don't see any other... I don't see any other wires down in here that I can kind of see, besides that one that's not hooked into nothing. But see, if you were to hook a gauge up, or a wire up to it, you know, like get this wire, that wire off of that gauge into this gauge, it'd have to be put in here somehow. And I don't know if that's the wire right there that's for that, or what. Because if I could find another plug like that, you could probably somehow put it onto that wire. And that wire is not really even in the dash either. They just kind of snaked it in there. See, it's just kind of underneath. I was gonna try to disconnect this, but I don't think this comes out. It's like that's in there pretty good too. So I don't know. I might have to get a whole new wire. See, it turns, but it doesn't want to come out. It's under tension too. So I don't know. Your best bet would be just to rewire everything again, or some of it anyway, but I don't know where that wire goes to. The one that they disconnected. Right there. That's the only one that's disconnected. Right here. Like I showed you earlier, that's the only one that I found disconnected. And that's probably, who knows what that goes to. Probably that either the temperature, the coolant, or the volt. It's either one of those, or it could even be this. Could be, because remember, no, but why would they no, I think that got power, though. Shit, I don't know. Because that same black, that's our red wire. It looks like it was a red wire at one time. It's kind of a faded red now, but it does go into that little harness down there. See this harness here. Which one I touched now? Yeah, this one. You guys can't really see it though. See it there now. See, it goes into that. It's taped. And I don't know why it's taped like that, but it is. So it's disconnected, whatever it is. I don't know what kind of gauge or what kind of wire that is. But I believe that went to the bottom. Went right there. So I don't know what that is. That could be the oil pressure for all the hell I know. And then this yellow one right here goes into this. But it looks like there almost should be two wires there, but I don't know. But they only got one going into it. You can kind of see that, but I don't know. There's two going in there, and there's two going in there, and there's only one going in here. And that wire, like I said, goes into this little guy right here. So we have one wire disconnected, but I don't know what the hell that goes to. It looks like it's been disconnected for quite some time too. So it's either an oil I mean, the mattress it looks like it's got the same plug almost as the one that's out there. But I don't know if that's for the oil. Could be. And I haven't torn into this yet, and I'm probably not going to. Because the only reason I think I'd have to tear into that is for the exhaust temperature, and I'm not sure if I really care too much. I don't care about that too much right now. I just want to see if I could get the coolant to at least work for now. I don't know about the voltmeter because I need a new gauge, and the oil pressure doesn't work obviously because it's not hooked up. But if they disconnected it down there, why would they disconnect it here then too, right? I mean, I don't understand that. There's your wiring harness of a mess. And that's all I see for wiring going to that. And there's only one that's disconnected that I can tell. Looks like those are the main wires to start it. And they're not disconnected, because then it wouldn't be starting, right? So I'm not seeing anything. What are those springs for? Is that the brake? Yeah, it is. That's the brake springs. Alright, well, that's interesting. Well, they did that setup. But there's no way of getting that. Even if you were to use that wire, for one, there's really no way of getting it off because it's not coming off without a fight probably. And two, I don't know where you could hook it into. You know, I don't know what that wire is that's disconnected. I don't know what the hell that that wire goes to. So, yeah. So I'm probably just going to put this all back together, because that's about as far as I'm going to get with this, because I can't get any further than that. Unless you take that harness off down right there. But it looks like all the wires are there too, from what I can kind of tell. There's a cat. Sees me in the tractor and is wondering why it can't come over here. So, but yeah, these gauges are not separately plugged in. Like, they don't have their own wire. It goes into a harness of some kind. And you can see that. It goes into a harness of some kind. So, and that yellow wire that they ran, I don't see it anywhere in here. But another thing too, it doesn't mean that they ran it all the way here though too, right? They could have spliced it in where it went. And the only reason I'd probably take that out is probably just to see if that yellow wire is there. But I don't know, maybe I'll look into that real quick, but I'm not going to tear into it a lot. So, and plus there's only one wire and it's a main wiring harness, so, because I've seen some pictures on that too. So, I don't know, maybe let me look into this, see if I can maybe somehow open this just a little bit to peek inside. But in other words, for that, I don't know. There's only one wire that's disconnected. That's either oil, pressure, or coolant, but I don't see any other wires taped up. You know, yeah, they're plugged into something too. I don't know. That's all I see, boys. It's just that one wire disconnected. So I don't know. I'm going to put this back together, and then I'm going to tear this out, open it anyway, see if I can at least maybe see the yellow wire. Maybe they ran a yellow wire to it. I don't know, because it goes into the harness. Why would they go through all that trouble going through the harness? But I don't know. I don't know what they got going on here. So let me do that quick. Let me put this thing back together, and that's all I'm going to do to it until somebody can say something. But I hope you've seen everything. I don't know. I didn't bother taking any video or pictures of it because I figured a video would be better. There's only one wire that's disconnected. So they might have done something with the harness underneath the cab too, for all the hell I know. They probably didn't even bother with it up here in the dash, but I don't know. Don't know what to say. So, alright, give me 1 second. I'm going to put this back together. Alright, so I got the digital tack out. I put all this back together for now. The wiring's a little bit cockeyed, but it'll work. There is nothing going to this but this one wire. That's it. So, when they did the coolant temperature wiring, they did it down there, down underneath the cab. That's where it's spliced in. That's where I see it spliced in. So, the reason why it's probably not working now is because, see, there's nothing wrong with the you know, I mean, there's no extra wiring running to that. The reason why it's not working is because, let's see here, it's not turning on for some reason. I think the tack is messed up. The tack would have to be sent in. It might just be as simple as the button might be broken inside. Damn it. Because everything else works, except the miles per hour don't work. See, the PTO comes on, like it'll read numbers when the truck is running, but even with the PTO off. So, and then the miles per hour don't work either, but it comes on. So, it's just telling me here that this button's broken. they spliced it in. They spliced in that other wire. Okay. And all the gauges still get power. You watch them. See how they move, and I'll even move them. Watch the fuel gauge. Springs back. Coolant temperature gauge. Turns on. Oil pressure comes on, but that's not hooked up. And then the voltmeter doesn't work. The voltmeter don't come on. It doesn't move at all. So, how he thinks I'm moving that wire to the coolant temperature wire, I don't know. Because I don't know where the hell that goes inside there. You would need, I guess you would need some kind of a wire diagram or something to tell you what it does. I guess I'd have to look at that wire diagram again, but I don't know. Everything still looks factory and everything, so I don't know, but this will probably have to get sent in to read the exhaust temperature. Come on, line up, you bastard. Because that's the only thing I see wrong with it. I don't see anything else wrong with it. Like I said, they did splice it together. It looked like it was underneath the cab, down there in the corner. So that might be the why. It probably works, but it's just the gauge probably quit working there. That can happen. Certain things will work and then certain things won't work because they're broken. So I'll have to send the tack in sometime this summer and have it repaired. I'm waiting to hear from the young guy. He said that he would let me know how much it would cost to have his rebuilt. But he's never gotten back to me yet, and I haven't asked. I haven't even talked to him pretty much since we picked up the bales. We haven't talked, but who knows if he even sent his in, right? Because you know he says something and then it takes a little while for him to do it, so that's kind of just the way it goes. But the tack is, for the most part, it's working except the miles per hour and then the engine exhaust. I think that's the only reason why it's not working. It's because the button's broken, not letting it come on. But I actually should take everything off this dash, like everything, and get a new one of these stickers. Because these are, you can actually order these. Well, you can order this whole thing. It'll be a whole thing. You get like it's all new. So you can get that from RRTractors.com, I believe it was. You can get them, and you can get the ones that got the tilt steering and whatnot and everything too. So, but for the oil pressure gauge, Crazy JD Kid was thinking that's probably what that wire is down there that was unplugged. Could be. They probably just took the sensor out and everything like he was saying, and maybe they disconnected it here too. I don't know. All you can really do, I guess is really kind of look at the diagram a little bit and then order to get the coolant to work. Just put that new sensor in, because I don't think that sensor will work with the, I don't think this is going to come off that wire. I mean, do you think it would, but not probably without breaking it, and I don't want to break it right now without having the right tools here to repair it. That'll just kind of leave it for now, I guess, but you'd have to get a new wire or whatever, and then read the diagram and then see what wires run this. I guess that's really all you could do, and then just try to see if you can find. It's got to be in that plug though. I guess just find the plug, the wire that runs it, and then just cut it, and then I guess just redneck it all together. That's really all you can do. See the gauges work, except the volts didn't work. But I think that's the gauge that might be bad. So hopefully that'll fix my voltage issue anyway. It'll be just a gauge issue, nothing serious. That works too. So, but yeah, I wish I could fix the throttle issue, but I think the young guy said there was just a wedge or something you have to move down here, loosen it a little bit. And I suppose that you'd have to take the dash completely out. Or I think at least the side, yeah, probably, I don't know. Probably just the side, actually, I think. No, it's probably the whole upper piece. I don't know how they got this frickin' dash going here, but I'm not gonna really worry about the throttle thing too much anyway right now. I guess we can just try to figure out the coolant, the oil pressure. At least that's a good start. I don't know, maybe the, I don't know. Probably fixing the oil pressure would be the easiest because it would be right there on the side of the engine. But when they disconnected that wire, where the hell did that wire go? Because I don't think I've seen an extra slot underneath here for that. So, I don't know. So, just have to figure something out, I guess, to see if that, I don't know. It's just kind of whatever it is, I guess. So, my parents will just keep it all torn apart, and, this is alright. There's only one big wire on the back. I think down there is where they spliced it in for the exhaust, but the gauge just isn't working. It's probably the button's broken and not letting it come on. So, I don't know, but that's probably going to be at least $100, $200 right there to even have that repaired. So, that'll be a later date. Right now, let's just try to see if we can focus on some of this at least. And, you can see they all work and move. Except the volt, because the volt's not in. But that gauge I think is broken anyway. So, I'm probably going to have to get a new one of those. And then see if that fixes the problem. Might be easier to fix the oil pressure because it might just be that thing outside that probably needs to be hooked up again. But again, where they put the wire, I don't know. Well, the wire is there, I guess, So I should just have to plug it in and it should work then, but coolant and the coolant would probably actually be the trickiest now. I don't know. You have to somehow get that wire off, and it doesn't look like it wants to come off too easy, so it might just be easier just to order the new sensor and then just get new wiring and just run that, I guess, to wherever, instead of bothering with that. And that I can just scrap it. Whatever. So, I guess that's pretty much it, guys. That's all I'm going to do for today. I also need to get a lighter thing put back in here. I got to order one off of, I think Triple R Tractor sells them, and I think Steiner sells them. It's just a thing that has to go in here. That's all that's missing for that. But it's whatever. So, but yeah, I guess we'll just take it one day at a time, I guess. And Crazy DD Kid, maybe you can understand the diagram a little bit. Another thing you can do too, if you want, if you wanted to make a video on this, you could. And what you could do is just take parts of my video and then take a screenshot of it and then put that in your video, and then just kind of mark what wire, I suppose, you know, like you would need to cut or whatever to say to get the coolant to work, you know. You'd have, something has to tell this gauge what to do, and that wire, I don't know if that's the one that's disconnected down there or what. But why would they go through all the trouble of disconnecting it? You think that they just want to disconnect the power, you know? Or just take the gauges out. Wouldn't look kind of stupid without the gauges, but if they don't care, well, you know, why would they care then, right? So I don't know. But they are getting power. They're just not reading, you know, what they need to read. So the wires are missing there. I don't know about the voltmeter, like I said, because I don't have a new gauge yet. I'll probably be ordering one on Monday or Tuesday. I'm gonna order that from eBay, and then I'll just simply push it in there and then see if I get something. Whatever, because it should read at least the battery power, what's in the battery. So if we can get this stuff figured out, at least, you know, that's a lot of work, but we'd be getting closer enough to where this tractor's a little bit more original and not fricked up. And then after that, once we get the cluster figured out, it might be time to, I might go ahead and order a new headliner for this thing and just install it myself. I can get one on Northern Tool, I guess, for a couple $100. You know, because this is just ridiculous, this thing here. I mean, this is what they put in to hold it up, the dealer, when they were selling it. You see, it looks like the rats have chewed through it and whatnot. You just have to take all this stuff off. You can leave all the wiring and stuff behind, just snake all the wiring, but all the big stuff has to come out. The radio I might want to replace at some point. I know it works, but this speaker's out. But the radio still works. But I might want to swap it out for a better one. And then once we figure that out, I think my plans are to get the gauges to work. Get a new headliner put in. I might want to upgrade to step 2. And then let's see, what did I want to do afterwards? Oh, and then after I get that, I want to get the air conditioner working. I need to update it. That air compressor has to come off because it's out of date, and they don't make the gas for that kind of air compressor. It's still the original 1978 one. They no longer make gas for them. You have to apparently you got to get an updated compressor now. I'm not sure if I'm going to do the lines or not, but if I have to, I will. It'll probably come with the lines anyway, but update that, and then so at least we can get some cold blowing air. Probably have to figure out what's wrong with the heater, because the heater don't work either. But that might be a simple job. I don't know. And then after that, I got to get the blower repaired. I got to get a new blower put in. So there's a lot to do with this tractor, but it's a lot. I think, to me anyway, it just seems like a lot of easy stuff. I think this is going to be the hardest, to be honest with you. The headliner would be a piece of cake, because now they just make the one-piece headliners. It's not multiple pieces anymore. Whatnot. So, yeah. So, she'd be coming along if we could get one of these things to work. Geez, if we could get the voltmeter. If the voltmeter works as soon as I plug it in, I'd be definitely a little bit happier, because I won't have to mess with that anymore. Then it's just up to these two, pretty much, trying to figure out what's wrong with that. Even though this might be a simple one, because it's just missing that sensor, that electronic sensor that he was talking about. And you can see it down there that they removed it clearly. When you pointed that out, Crazy JD Kid, about how they did the hosing, I was confused really, because I guess they used the same wire, or the same hose that was for the fuel. They used it on the oil pressure side as well, which I don't know if you can do that or not. But they cut a piece and they made their own, right? But you can see how it was snaked under under the fuel line there and going down to where he was talking about. I see that now. Actually, I seen that when I edited the video. It's like, well, I said that wrong, and I didn't bother putting any text or anything to say, hey, that's wrong. But yeah, I know about that. I think you can see that they removed the sensor or whatever from that. That's probably going to be an expensive fix from Case IH. He says that you could probably get some aftermarket ones for cheaper, but I'm not going to really worry about that too much right now, because I think that honestly that's going to be the easiest job, because it might just be the sensor that's missing, and that's why this isn't reading, but it could still be hooked up. But got to get this to work, and then got to see if we can get this to work, which that could just be the gauge. The fuel, that works 50%. This other half here is a bad sensor in the fuel tank in the back. That's, I think, that thing right there, that black cap. Let's see here. Yeah, there, that. That, I think, that's what needs to get repaired or replaced or whatever the deal is. That's not working either. So, whatever. Just one thing at a time. We'll figure it out and get her done, I guess, eventually. I need to figure out what's wrong with this TA, too. It seems like it's awful tight. But then again, I don't really move this too much. But it needs to be looser. There's probably a wedge in there too that I can loosen a little bit, but I don't know, one thing at a time. So I hope that helps, Crazy DD Kid. That wire I don't think it's going to come off, but I don't know where you would run it to anyway to tell this gauge what it's doing, because I don't know what wire it would go to in that plug. It's got to be one of those big plugs that tells this gauge what to do. I'm just going to show you one more time that they all do work. See? They're just not, they don't have the sensors. That's what they're missing, is the sensors. Pretty much, or the wires or something. But the voltmeter, I think I might just have to replace the voltmeter, and that might be alright. I don't know. I'm hoping that this weekend will fly by. It's only Friday today, but I hope this weekend goes by fast. When it's close to payday like this, I just want to get the payday, because then that's when things start happening. So we got about 3 more days. Yeah, 2.5, whatever. 4 maybe. I don't know. It depends. And then and then when we're done with everything else with this tractor, when we get this tractor 100% to my liking, I will be calling a lot of salvage yards and be looking for the tilt steering kit for this thing. The young guy says that apparently we can just cut this. You just have to cut a hole and he can install it. He says you don't have to buy the whole new dash panel, which I don't know if you can or not. Because you can't do shit in here with not having a tilted steering kit. You'd have to literally just take the wheel right off in order to really make it easy to work on stuff and comfortable. But I'm not going through all that bullshit just to check some wiring. So. Oh yeah, and another thing that don't work either is the horn. The horn don't work. But I'm not going to worry about the horn. I could give 2 shits about the horn for right now. If I wanted to put horns in, I'll either start fixing that, or I'll put some goddamn train horns on this motherfucker, and then whatever. So. Alrighty guys, I'm going to take off. That's all I'm going to do for today. I hope that helps a little bit, there, Crazy DD Kid. Because then I don't know what else to really do. So, the wire diagram, I'll have to look into it some more, but I don't know. I'm not too sure what wire would tell it what to do. But to get that wire off, it's going to be kind of a tricky thing. So, whatever. So, I'm going to flip this camera around for a quick second. I'll let you look on that back side of that gauge there, so maybe you can see what's wrong there. So 1 second. Okay, so you can look behind there. See, they got some other power wires, but they're not doing anything. But there's that wire for the gauge. That's kind of the same thing as what's going in the motor almost. You just gotta remove that. Does that look like a nut to you? No, it's not gonna focus. It doesn't automatically focus for me on this side of the screen. I don't know. Something's funky about that. It's not letting it work. It's not letting it pop out, but we'll figure it out, I guess. Alright, guys, I'm taking off. I'm gonna go home. I'm getting hungry. I haven't had anything for dinner yet, or was it dinner or supper? No, it's dinner, I think. Well, noon, whatever. Food, noon. I haven't eaten anything yet. I just was getting anxious, and I wanted to come out here and look, so see what the hell's going on. It's another nice day. It's about 34 degrees, and there's no wind at all, so it's a good day to do stuff. But these days are going to be coming to an end. I think possibly I'm just going to order whatever I think I need, and from Case IH, or if we can find it online or something, I'm just going to order it, and then we'll deal with it in spring. Once I put the voltmeter back in, and I'm just going to button everything back up. Really, if it's cold, I don't want to take long to button all the stuff back up. After that, I'm done for the year. It's just whatever. There was a good week there. I figured I probably could look into some stuff and maybe figure some stuff out, but it's going to take a little bit more than that. Like I said, I did order a new coolant sensor, so that's coming, or it's actually at the dealer already. Because you just never know. This sensor could go out at any time. So I'm just gonna go ahead and order that. And then I'll order whatever else I think I need. So just stock up on parts. It's really all you can do. I still gotta buy. I'm gonna probably at least try to buy that post driver on payday for fencing. At least get one of those things done and out of the way for the year. But whatever. Alright, guys, I'm taking off, so I guess have a good day and stuff. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Take her easy.